Hi, how y'all doing? Today is March the 7th, 2026. Here in Ontario, Canada, the sky's cloud covered again, just like yesterday, the day before, I believe. Still a really weird feeling. The energy's strange, right? I don't know if it's the anticipation, what it is. It's quiet. It's a quiet feeling. Although the people aren't really being quiet, I just heard a guy yelling at his canine. The police were here in the hood at 6 o'clock in the rise. So it's just the energy I feel. Maybe it's waiting for that other boot to drop. Who knows, right? What was it? 50,000 more pages got released from the Epstein files yesterday or the day before. So who knows what's going on? I don't know. Right? I remember when I was talking to my son yesterday, uh, he asked me why does other countries, right, around the realm call the white people the white devil, right? So I went into the story for him, and I told him, well, it all started with two brothers, right? Everybody was a shade of brown. There was no Caucasians, no pale face, for a long time, and there was two brothers, and the one brother was like my sister, your aunt, right? Who when my mother passed, she showed me who she really was. When in our family, because it's been ran by matriarchs throughout the generations, um, the eldest daughter is the inheritor, right, of the estate, and then she is to give out the wealth to the other family members, right? And I would have done that. And he goes, yeah, I know you would have, Ma. And I said, but Pamela had to go, my sister had to go in there uh, when she wasn't supposed to and take all the most expensive stuff Mom had and said that she threw the rest in the garbage, right? And I said, and when I told her we wouldn't, me and my other sister wouldn't have done that to her, she got mad and threw a bag of coins at me, right? I said I should hit you. I said, well, there was two brothers like this back in the day, right? Well, this bullshit started. I said it's a war on war in a way, right? Because that's what they be calling themselves, some of them, right? And the narcissist one, my sister, wanted to take the birthright of the other, the righteous brother. You have righteous boars and dirty boars, right? And I said, so that was going on. You know what I mean? And they were stealing each other, or trying to steal the inheritance from the rightful one. And when the Caucasians came out of the Caucasus Mountains about 6,000 years ago, they say, right? The Moors caught them, shaved them down, taught them how to walk, to stand upright because they were running through the woods like wolves, and educated them, civilized them, whatever, right? And then some of them mated with them and had offspring, right? And it was all done to steal the righteous family's inheritance. I said sometimes like if it was your aunt, she would have named her children the same names as I named mine. Maybe just changed one letter, right? So they could usurp the inheritor. And there was more and more war going on, right? So the Dirty Moors, I believe, took the Caucasians that they had domesticated and went around the realm with them. And then they spread them all out amongst the different countries. And they decided that they didn't want to be in the public eye anymore. So they made them kings and queens, and that took their positions, like a duplicate. You know what I mean? A fraud, what a lookalike, right? and said, no, now you're gonna hold this position. We're gonna put you in power. We don't want to be in the public eye anymore. We're gonna go hide, right? And you just be me, right? You have all this power, right? And so those people were told to colonize the other countries around the realm, right? And Africa and Asia and everywhere, right? And so when the brown people in that country seen who was enslaving them, right, stealing their shit, they called them white devils. He says, I get it, right? And I said, that's the way I'm seeing it. Do you know what I mean? So, and now we're here where we at today, right? Only the bad brother, the dirty boar has been taken out. The righteous boar has came back and claimed his shit or her shit, whatever the case may be, right? And is ripping down all his mean brother, the dirty boar's stuff that he put up in the realm that made him powerful, like everything, education, money, you name it, health, you name it, farming, whatever it is, right? He's got to take all that shit down and put his shit up. That is righteous, causes no harm, right? That's where we're at now. They're tearing it down, right? And putting they're gonna put the new stuff up. This is what I gather anyways in this 3D program, right? The movie. So, yeah. He understood though. He got it. He did. And I said, who's to say who's who? You know what I mean? Everything's a lie. We can't prove nothing. But there's a different energy with people, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Like, I would have taken everything my mother had left and divided it equally amongst the rest of my siblings and the grandchildren, her grandchildren, right? Where my sisters didn't do that. So that's why. That's the difference in frequency in a person. You know? You can see them by their deeds, right? So yeah. Bit of tension in my body. Ears ringing loudly again today. It was all misty here in the rise. I slept good, dreamt all night. It was alright. Oh, and somebody said, I bet Hope Spicer Charles said when I was talking about Palestine and Israel and Iran, right? Palestine was never a country in ancient times. It was called Philistine before they came in and changed the name and called it Palestine, right? The Philistines were thrown out of many Eastern countries. Nobody wanted them. There's a reason for that, right? So, just like there is today. You know what I mean? They're mostly Arabs and stuff like that. There's no Palestine. It's biblical. Look it up. Philistine. Alright? This is what I'm going for. Because they gotta force it to play out the same kind of way as it did before. It was never Israel and Pakistan, it was Asia. So, yeah, history's confusing, especially when everything's been a lie. You don't know who anybody is. You really don't, right? There's people in countries that aren't from those countries, but they say they are. You know what I mean? Oh, golly. Anything else? Oh, the Philistines were the sea people, too. And my son was, or not the Philistines were the sea people. Nobody knows where they came from. They came from the Aegeans. So whatever that there is, right? But wherever they went, people did not want them in their country. So that's what I've learned so far. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize and change it, right? But yeah. The Schuman was at 67 yesterday. So up quite a bit, right? The site I pay attention to isn't doing very good at reporting it every day, because some days they don't, right? So I'm not sure that if it's because it's so high they can't read it, or the machine's turned off because it doesn't register that high. I'm not sure at all. Right? Strange. Alright, I think there's a planetary alignment today. Was it Mercury, the Sun, and Earth or something like that? So, intense energy coming in. And then there's that oarfish, which might cause a earthquake, right? Like it did last time. But like I said, I'll keep track of my body. And it told me last time when that big one in Japan went off. So it'll tell me again. Alright, that's all. I'm just having a quiet day. I don't want to go out. It's supposed to rain here all day. Rained all night. Quite a bit of snow left. So that's good. Spring's springing. Let's hope. We'll see, right? Because we're in the change. More people are waking up. Every day, more people wake up. Every day. I remember my true self. And every day I have more gratitude. I love you all as a consciousness. Enjoy this night or day. Okay? Okay. Bye.